Hey, what's up? And welcome to Everything You Love, episode 32. Appreciate you coming to hang out. What's in store for today? Got some stories to tell, got some questions to answer, and we're just gonna see what happens. First off, Chris Spikuza. You guys know him, Chimera keyboardist and sampler extraordinaire. Good news, he's coming into town. We're gonna set something up. So many of you have been asking me to have him on for an Everything You Love, see what he's been up to, just catch up, talk about the past, all that good stuff. And looks like it's gonna happen in September. So whether that's Everything You Love 33, 34, only time will tell, but I can't wait for that. I've got a ton of questions for him. And that brings me to one other point. Just the other day, in my YouTube feed, I see this thing come up. It says interview with Chris Chimera, and it's only like a few days old. And I'm like, what is this? So I click on it, and I got caught up in this interview that Chris had just done. I had no idea about. You know, he's not one of those guys that makes it public when he's doing stuff like this. I doubt he shared it with anybody, at least not that I saw that he was doing this. But let me tell you, this was one of the best interviews I'd listened to in a long time. Obviously, I'm biased, but I really learned a lot about Chris. I had some big laughs, memorized a lot, just heard a lot about the past that I hadn't heard in a long time. I heard his perspective on a ton of things from within the band and about songwriting and his influences and, you know, just his perspective of us before him joining the band and what the early days were like for him. And it was just really cool, something that I really enjoyed, and I recommend that all you guys check it out. I will leave it in the description below. Just look for the link that says interview with Chris Spikuza and check that out. It's about an hour and a half, hour and a half, I forget. Unfortunately, the audio quality isn't really up to par, but you put some headphones on or listen to it loud or in a quiet place, you'll be okay. But again, some really interesting stuff that I recommend you check out. Interview with Chris Spikuza, and you'll see him here with me in a few weeks. Next up, let's answer a question. All right, the homie Aaron Prentice says, hey Rob, I got another random question for you. Aaron's always got good questions. I was rewatching your Chimera amp tone video just now, and at one point you show pictures of you and Matt by your Rode cases that had two heads and a rack above it, all in one case. I've been trying my damnedest to try to find Rode cases just like this for my band to use. Okay, so anyways, I ended up answering Aaron about this, but what I wanted to talk about was Rode cases here. A lot of you know exactly what Rode cases are. A lot of you are like, what are Rode cases? Why should I care? Well, anyways, if you like rock and roll, which you do because you're here right now, Rode cases are those things that all the band's gear travel in. Obviously, as we're on the road, going from city to city, town to town, venue to venue, we got all the amps, the drums, the guitars. The guitars are in their own cases, but where do they go? The lights, the sound gear, all that kind of stuff. It all needs to be protected while it's coming in and out of the trucks or trailers and in and out of venues, up and down ramps and stairs, stages, every single night. That stuff needs to get protected or it gets destroyed. We've all seen those old beat up Marshall cabs with the Tolex ripped off and everything. Obviously, those things weren't protected with Rode cases, but we always liked Rode cases, and so here's the story I kind of wanted to get into here. When Chimera first started off playing, we'd see that more professional bands had Rode cases. We at this point did not have Rode cases because they're an expensive addition to your band's arsenal, which we found out shortly thereafter. But they're not really something just a local band without any type of budget or anything can afford. To do your whole band in Rode cases is $10,000 to $20,000 at least, you know, just to put a cabinet in a Rode case, you know, brand new is at least $800 to get a custom made case. Anyways, when Chimera signed our Pass Out of Existence record deal, we got an equipment advance in that, and we had plenty of money. Fortunately, thank God, back in those days, things like this were still happening, but we had plenty of money to buy Rode cases. So another thing we had money for was to buy a brand new van and trailer. So we buy this brand new van and trailer, pack all our gear in it before any Rode cases, and we drive out to California to start recording Pass Out of Existence. We were going to be living there for about 6 weeks, recording and mixing. So we took the gear that we needed to record out there in our brand new van and trailer, got to the studio, and right down the street from the studio was A&S Cases, a places where they made custom cases. It was recommended to us by Spineshank, I think, who was a big band that we saw with road cases when we were opening for them at local Cleveland shows. So we go over there, you know, talk to the guys, super cool. They come over to the studio, they measure all our gear, and boom, just like that, all of a sudden we have road cases in production. And they're being made. It was gonna take a few weeks, and I couldn't wait for these things to be done. It was a dream of mine to have these road cases. We were all excited, but I think I was just super hyped up on it. And so anyways, a few weeks later, we get the call that they're done, and they get dropped off at the studio in this big truck, brand new. They smelled awesome, you know, and I couldn't wait to load everything in. But Mudrock, our producer, was pissed because he didn't want me moving any of the gear. You know, all the cabinets are mic'd up, even though guitars have been tracked, just in case you have to go back and do something. Doesn't want any microphones to move or microphones on the drums or anything like that. But I couldn't wait to case this stuff up. Finally, another week passes. I'm just staring at these things and drooling over them every day, daydreaming about them and stuff. He finally gives me the okay. We can tear down all the gear that we've been recording with and get them in the cases. So we do all that. It's an amazing experience. Getting ready to leave, drive back to Cleveland to start our lives as Chimera with a brand new debut record under our belts. But what happens? We go to load all of our gear now in these new road cases into our brand new trailer I'd mentioned, and it no longer fits. We couldn't get everything in there because now everything's like bigger because it's like, you know, takes up more space with all these road cases that everything's in. So we had to go find some trailer place, trade in our new trailer, and buy a brand new bigger trailer just to be able to get all our gear in, just to be able to make the trip back to Cleveland. So funny thing, and then I wanted to share this. I've shared this on social media a long time ago, but it's awesome. Every time I come across it, I love just seeing this thing. Our first tour after that, we actually named the We Have Road Cases Tour 2001. Look at that. That's how stoked we were that we had road cases. Amazing. Painting, Severed, Split, Let Go, Silence, Fear, Dead Inside, Present Darkness. A typical early Chimera set list there. Andel's old signature there, I could tell. Maybe that's Jim. I can't really tell. But anyways, cool memories there. Now you know about road cases and Chimera's history with road cases. If you're still here, I appreciate it. Let's move on to the next question. From Mr. Brandon Taylor. Question for the everything you love. Has your taste in guitars changed at all over the years, or has it pretty much stayed the same? Nothing else will stay the same. This is my time. You guys remember that one? So, boring answer, no. My taste in guitars has not changed over the years. Not like all of a sudden I just love, you know, Warlocks now or Explorers. I don't know. I still just like that M-style guitar that I saw Kirk Hammett playing all those years. But let me show you something. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is the style guitar for me. You know, the one that I've always loved. Headstock. I love reverse, but I'm cool with a regular facing headstock too. But the one thing that has changed for me over the years that I have noticed recently, I'll tell you why I've noticed something. So a lot of you know, I've always had in my custom guitars or in guitars that I ordered, I would have ESP just do this for me. I would have them remove the tone knob and switch it with the volume knob. So I take the volume from the typical tone position and move it to the tone position, eliminating the tone knob. So in my customs, I don't even have a tone knob, never had a use for them. And the volume is just moved further ways because I always felt that when I was picking that my pinky would turn down my guitar, my volume accidentally. Oops, not even in the camera there. I feel like my pinky would turn down the volume there, and that would be annoying, and it would happen every once in a while. But what I have noticed now over the years is that I can play guitars with the volume in the typical volume position, and it's no problem. I no longer feel that I'm hitting it. Now, I haven't been playing live, obviously, over the past few years, so maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe if I got back on stage again and was playing live a lot, I would notice that. I'm not really sure, but I don't care. And the reason that I noticed that is because as I've been, you know, unboxing and showing off all these ESP guitars over the past couple of years, I hear a ton of comments from guys who are like, volume's way too close to the pickup. But I'm pretty sure that's just a standard position for so many guitar companies. I don't think ESPs is closer to the pickup or the bridge than any other company. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, I'm just making an assumption there. But at any rate, it isn't abnormally close in my opinion, and where they typically put it isn't any problem for me. I got one right there. You kind of see it right there. I'm not gonna get back and pick that up, but anyways, that's a typical configuration right back there. Perhaps I'll zoom in, I don't know. So that's the only thing that's changed for me, and I wouldn't even really consider that a taste. I'd consider it more of a preference. Call it as you will. Just like to jam, man. How about we break things up here with a quick unboxing? Who doesn't like a good unboxing, right? My custom sets that I have made just for me. These are the gauges I've been using forever: 11, 13, 20 wound, 30, 42, 52. Do I use a 20 wound? Yes, I do. I like a wound string for that G. I've talked about these strings a ton of times in my string changing series tutorials. Make sure you check those out for how I change strings, how I like to change strings, the tools I like to use for changing strings, why I like these strings, and I'm always talking about the DR high beams because I like them so much. I've been using them for about 5 years now. And with this, you can get DRs and the high beam sets anywhere, but with my particular gauges there, it's considered a custom set that you just can't go get, but there is a way. It's easy. It's just a little workaround that you can get from you can have your local store order them, or like Musician's Friend or Sweetwater if you call or email them, or Toman over in Europe. And I've described exactly how to do that in a segment of Everything You Love, episode 31, which I will link for you below to the exact timestamp there. All you got to do is click on that, how to get my custom strings, and watch that little section, which is described how easily you can get these strings for yourself if you like them. Again, I only talk about things on the channel that I like, and I like these strings. And speaking of strings and guitars, did you happen to see the little short video I made recently on how to figure out exactly when and where your guitar was made? No? Roll it. If you've ever been curious about the age and origin of your guitar, or wondered how exactly to read the serial number on the back of your headstock, or wherever it may be, then I've got the site for you. Just head to www.guitarinsight.nl. Then I like to click the little English button right here. Then I go to the serial numbers right here. And then look at all these brands that pop up: Ibanez, Jackson, Fender, Gibson, PRS. I'm going to select ESP, but no matter which brand you click, a little auto-generating decoder pops up. Then you locate the serial number on your guitar, typically on the headstock, but sometimes in other places, and then enter it into the decoder. Here I'm entering the serial number from my ESP Custom Shop RA2. And just like that, we can see it was born on the 13th of February 2006 there at the ESP Custom Shop in Japan, and it appears to have been the first guitar completed that day. Very cool. Let's try another. This is my LTD M1000 HT, and we can see it was produced in May of 2021. Perhaps it's the 161st of the day or batch over there in Indonesia. And it's that easy. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more. Okay, we got time for one more question here that's gonna lead to another lengthy story. Hope you don't mind, but hey, that's what I'm here for. You either watch or you don't. It's up to you. But Jason Carzales, did I say that? Yo, Rob, I just picked up a Chimera Guitar Collection Volume 1. Some of the tabs seem iffy. What's your take on them, and do you approve? And I say, I don't approve. Unfortunately, those tabs are not the greatest, and that's why I've set out to make things right over my Patreon community. So this is gonna be kind of a half plug, half story. A plug is like a little just kind of, you slip in an advertisement. It's a plug for something. Anyway, so I'm gonna advertise the fact that I've got great tabs going on over in my Patreon community, but we'll get to that in a sec. What he's asking about here is the Chimera Guitar Collection tab book here. I'll show a couple pictures of this thing. We were approached by the publishing company Hal Leonard sometime in I believe 2009 to do a tab book. Tab book is number notation for music. Instead of having to actually read music, there's kind of this easy system to understand with numbers and lines that you can translate to guitar, and it's called tablature, and people can learn songs. Anybody can learn songs from it really easy if you can just equate the number on a line to a fret on the neck of a guitar, and it's super easy. Anyways, like so many dudes, I loved tab books growing up. My local music store, this is way before the internet, anything like that, this is the only way to, besides guitar magazines like Guitar World, Guitar School, Guitar for the Practicing Musician, stuff like that, where they'd have 5 monthly tabs, and you were at the mercy of what they'd be. If you didn't like those bands, whatever. But once in a while, like I've talked about in the past, it'd be like Slayer's Ditto Head, or, you know, Ride the Lightning would be in there, some cool Alice in Chains song, Domination from Pantera, you know, you'd run across stuff like that in these magazines. But anyways, you wanted to get what you wanted to get, you either had to order one or your local music store had these tab books. And All Star Music in Ahwatukee, Arizona, when I was growing up, would always have the Metallica books. And so I got all those, the Megadeth books. I loved these things growing up. I still have them all. I got tons of Slayer, Alice in Chains, Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth. But the Metallica and the Megadeth ones are the ones that I gravitated towards the most and learned all those, the first 5 Metallica books, and, you know, Countdown, as much as I could from Rust in Peace, Euthanasia, from the Megadeth stuff. And actually, just a quick side note, that's what I recommend. So many guitarists ask me, hey, how do I progress? How do I write better riffs? How do I write songs? How do I become a better riffer? Stuff like that. And I always tell them the same thing. Pick 4 or 5 of your favorite songs from a tab book when you know the tabs are fairly accurate. Well, I guess you don't know that until later, and learn those songs from beginning to end perfectly, and take the time to make sure that they sound just like they do on the albums. Don't stop until they do. That's what I did. That's how I developed my technique, by learning those Metallica songs. I could never riff, you know, like I can now if I wouldn't have learned those Metallica songs. And a lot of my songwriting and like taste and stuff comes from those Megadeth melodies and stuff. And it's because I learned that stuff, and I recommend that's what aspiring guitar players do that same thing with your favorite songs. Doesn't have to be Metallica or Megadeth, although I think those are wonderful ones to begin with, but make sure that they're your favorite songs so that you're not distracted, so that you really want to learn them. Learn the songs you want to learn and learn them perfectly. Spend the time. It'll make a difference for you. Anyways, when Camiro's approached to do a tab book, although it was a collection of like 4 of our albums and not just one album, it was still a dream come true for me, literally a bucket list thing to have a tab book. I was so stoked. And while they were doing this, you know, Camiro was out on the road, caught up in the touring cycle and stuff, and there's just some guys sitting there tabbing this stuff out, writing it, deciphering it. No one was telling them what notes to play or how to write the stuff out. They would listen to it and just figure it out by ear and then write the stuff out where they thought, you know, we were playing the stuff, what notes we were playing, all that. And they sent it to us for approval. But like, honestly, I was just like, yeah, it's fine. I didn't even go through anything because I didn't have the time to do that. It's very time consuming. You know, just in paper form to go through all this note by note, I wasn't getting anything extra out of doing that, you know, so I couldn't spend the time on it. So the guitar collection book came out, and I mean, it's good enough. You can certainly get an outline or a great feel for these songs, but is it 100% accurate? No. And that's why I started putting together with a couple of my guys over on Patreon that know how to do these tablatures. And we started putting together the collection of Camiro songs. Plus I got a few Elite over there. We're trying to do everything. So far, the Impossibility Reason is 100% done. The Self-Titled is 100% done. Got a bunch of Resurrection done, a few off Infection. We're working on Pass Out right now. Got 2 or 3 of those songs. So it's really exciting as stuff's coming together. So what these guys do is that they put the songs together and send them to me for approval, and I do go through each one with a fine-tooth comb, making sure that every note is exactly how it should be, where we play it on the neck, because that's a big thing that I wanted to mention. I remember going back to my Metallica days with the tab books, Headbangers Ball would come on, or I'd get the Metallica live shit, Binge and Purge, or just seeing Metallica play live, and sometimes I'd notice that where they're playing the stuff on the neck is different than where I'd see it in the tab book. And that was where I had the revelation that, oh, Metallica isn't writing these tab books. Metallica doesn't have, you know, because why would it be different? Why wouldn't they put in the tab book the way that they played it on the neck? And that's when it clicked for me, oh, some other guy is tabbing this stuff out. So now, the tabs that I have on my Patreon site are authentic. It's exactly where Matt and I would play them on the neck, or Mark, in some cases like Six, has all 3 guitar parts. So they're just really well done. And they have this Guitar Pro thing, which is a program, a software program. It's like $8 for mobile. It's more like $70 or $80 for desktop or something, but it plays the song in real time. You hear everything. It's to a click track. You can listen to one track. You can listen to another track. You could slow it down, speed it up. I don't know why you'd want to speed it up, but you slow it down, which is huge. So a really great thing, the Guitar Pro. There's other software stuff like that too, but it's just a really cool thing. And guitar tabs have come a real long way. And I just want to say that now I'm proud of the fact that we're growing this collection of Chimera songs that have 100% accuracy for those who really want to go the extra mile and learn the real versions like this. Otherwise, there's tons of stuff online. There always has been. I've always been proud of that as well, the fact that that stuff exists, even online. That's cool. And they're great outlines, and you can go with that. So yeah, that is tablature in a nutshell, or maybe something much larger than a nutshell, because I feel like I just talked about that for 15 minutes. So maybe it's like I don't know what's bigger, a conch shell. Appreciate you if you've made it this far. Boom, give the video a thumbs up for me. I'm guessing you're subscribed if you've made it this far, but if you're not, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I got new videos coming on the weekly, right? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Weekly, and don't want you to miss one. All sorts of different stuff. I know there's something for everybody out there. Thanks, everybody. If you really enjoyed the video, hit that super thanks button for me, or check out my Patreon campaign, as I could really use your support getting my music together, which is getting closer. I can't wait. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, see ya.